Hello students, in the BSc first year, semester first, we have studied two theory papers. First one was differential calculus. In which we have studied the differentiability of a function, as well as we have studied some mean value theorems. Then in the second paper, which was the algebra and trigonometry. These were the two theory papers that we have studied in the semester first. Then in the semester second, we have studied two more theory papers. The third one was integral calculus. Then the fourth one was the geometry. These four theory papers we have studied in the BSc first year. Also we have studied one practical paper, which was the paper number 5, and it was based on the MATLAB practicals. So likewise we have studied the 5 papers, 4 theory and 1 practical paper in the BSc first year. Then in the BSc second year, semester third, we have studied 3 theory papers. Paper number 6 was the real analysis. First. Paper number 7 was the group theory. And the paper number 8 was the differential calculus or ordinary differential equation. Paper number 8 was the ordinary differential equation. Ordinary differential equations. Okay, so whatever we have studied in these papers, mainly those papers which I have taught, I will brief them. So in the differential calculus, as told just now, we have studied the differentiability of a function as well as the mean value theorems and the differentiability of a function of two variables also we have studied. Then in the geometry, we have studied the three-dimensional geometry, which was about the plane, right line, then the sphere. Also we have studied some conicoids such as the ellipsoid, paraboloid, hyperboloid and so on. Also we have studied the right circular cone and the right circular cylinder in this paper, geometry. Also in the MATLAB means mathematics laboratory. This is a mathematics software. In that we have solved some examples of mathematics by using that MATLAB software. So these were the 5 papers of the BSc first year. In the second year, semester third, we have studied the real analysis first and the group theory, okay, and the ordinary differential equation. Out of those, in the real analysis first, we have mainly studied sequences and series. So behavior of sequences and series we have studied in the real analysis first paper in the semester 3, and in the group theory we have studied the algebraic structures mainly called groups. So the properties of groups we have studied in the group theory paper. Now in the semester number 4th, okay, this was about up to the semester number 3. Now in the semester number 4th, Now we are going to study in the semester 4th, we are going to study 3 more theory papers, and those theory papers are number 9. Ninth theory paper is the real analysis second. Real analysis second. Real analysis first we have already studied as a paper number 6th in the semester 3rd. Now it's the next part called real analysis second. We are going to study in this semester number 4th. Also we are going to study the ring theory. Ring theory. This is a paper which is a subsequent part of the group theory paper. So group theory, then the ring theory. This also we are going to study as a paper number 10. And the paper number 11 is the partial differential equations. Partial differential equations. Partial differential equations. So like such we are going to study these 3 theory papers in the semester number 4th. Okay. So we'll begin with this paper, which is the paper number 9th, real analysis second. So in the real analysis second, whatever we are going to study, that in the short I am going to tell in this class. So we'll begin with the real analysis second paper, real analysis second, which is our serially the paper number 9th of the BSc course. So real analysis second. See here, as our every theory paper of this BSc course of mathematics comprises of 4 units. Similarly, this paper, which is the paper number 9th of this semester 4th of BSc second year, it also comprises of the 4 units. And the 4 units of this paper, this is the paper number 9th, real analysis second. Title of this paper is the real analysis second. This is the paper number 9th, and it is in the semester 4th of the BSc second year mathematics course. As our every paper comprises of the 4 units, similarly this paper also comprises of the 4 units, and those 4 units are: in the first unit we are going to study Riemann integral. In the second unit we are going to study Riemann sum and some fundamental theorems. In the third unit we are going to study improper integral, especially with the range of integration is finite. And finally in the unit number 4th we are going to study again the improper integrals, but in the case where the range of integration is infinite. So like such the 4 units we are going to study in this paper, real analysis second. So whatever we are going to study in these 4 units, that we are going to discuss in short. So to begin with the Riemann integral. Riemann, as you know, we have studied the reintegration, concept of integration from the 12th standard, and the concept of integration originated in connection with the finding areas bounded by a curve. For finding the area bounded by a curve means in connection with the geometry, the integration concept originated. But that integration concept which is originated in connection with the geometry, that was it was the primary stage. The German mathematician Riemann gave a totally independent approach to this integration theory. He has given the arithmetic treatment to the integration theory and developed a new theory of integration which is named after him as the Riemann integral. Later on, many mathematicians contributed to that integration theory. Mainly, it was the Lebesgue theory as well as this Riemann theory. So, in this first unit, Riemann integral, we are going to study mainly the articles such as the partition. What is meant by the partition of a closed interval? Then the Darboux theorem. We are going to study the Darboux theorem also. Then the Darboux conditions of integrability. Then the conditions of integrability. Then some examples based on checking whether the given function is integrable in the given range or not. And then the sum theorems based on the differentiation integration of sum and product of some integrable functions. Like such articles we are going to study in this first unit, which is the labeled as the Riemann integral. Then in the second unit, which is again a part of the same chapter called Riemann integrals, in the second unit we are going to study Riemann sums, and then depending on the Riemann sums we are going to again study the conditions of integrability called as the Riemann conditions of integrability, and then some fundamental theorems about the integration also we are going to study, similar we are going to study fundamental theorem of integral calculus as well as mean value theorems of integral calculus, and then absolute convergence and conditional convergence also we are going to study. So like such these two units we are going to study. Then in the unit number third and fourth we are going to study mainly improper integrals. Okay, improper integral, this word is totally new to you. What is meant by the improper integral? See here, if we have the integration from a to b fx dx, okay, in the integral a to b fx dx, fx is called integrand. The function which is to be integrated is f of x. So the function which is to be integrated is called as the integrand. And these a and b are called the limits of integration. A is called the lower limit or the left limit of integration, and b is called the upper limit or the right limit of the integration. And the closed interval a to b is called as the range of integration. Range of integration. Range of integration, lower limit, upper limit of integration, and the integrand. Okay. So see here. So in this Riemann integral, we are going to impose two important conditions on this integral. One, the first important condition is that the integrand is bounded. Integrand is bounded. Bounded means it is finite. Okay, the integrand is finite in closed interval a to b. This is the first important condition that we are going to impose while studying the Riemann integrals, means the first and second unit. And the second important condition that we are going to impose is that the range of integration that is closed interval a to b is finite. So it should be finite. Okay. So the range of integration, that is the interval a to b, should be finite. So when these two conditions are satisfied, then and then we are going to consider the integrability of the function as the Riemann integrals. But when first condition fails and second satisfies, or first condition is satisfied but the second is failed, or both conditions fails to hold, in that case this integral is called as the improper integral. Okay. So if this integration is integration a to b of x dx, and if the range of integration is not finite, or the integrand becomes unbounded, means infinite in the given range, then, or both may happen, then in those cases we say that this integral is called as the improper integral. And this improper integral we are going to consider in the unit number 3 and 4. In the unit number 3, improper integrals we are going to discuss, and especially in this unit number 3 we are going to consider such improper integrals where the range of integration is infinite. Range of integration is finite. Range of integration is finite means the integrand becomes infinitely discontinuous in the interval a to b, and interval a to b, that is the range of integration, is finite. Such cases we are going to consider here in the unit number 3. The integrability of such functions, then the sum, then the integrability of sum, difference and product of such functions, then the absolute convergence we are going, and conditional convergence we are going to consider in this one, unit number 3. And finally, in the unit number 4, we are going to consider again the improper integrals, but here we are going to consider range of those improper integrals where the range of integration is infinite. Range of integration is infinite means the interval a to b is infinite. Interval a to b is infinite means either a is infinity, or b is infinity, or both a and b are infinity. Okay, keep in mind that if the left limit is infinity, then it must be minus infinity, and whenever the right limit is infinity, then it must be plus infinity. Okay, means the semi-open interval minus infinity to a, or the semi-open interval a to plus infinity, or the open interval minus infinity to infinity. Okay, so if the range of integration is either semi-open interval minus infinity to a, or the semi-open interval a to plus infinity, or the open interval minus infinity to plus infinity, then this integration is called as also in that case we will call it as the improper integral. So such cases we are going to study in this 4th unit. And here once again we are going to study the sum, difference and product of integrable functions. Again we are going to study here some properties of such functions, and as well as the conditional convergence and the absolute convergence. So likewise is this paper, these 4 units are distributed of this paper. So we are going to study these 4 units one by one. Okay, so today we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class with the first unit, that is the Riemann integrals.